After yet another unnecessarily long hiatus, welcome back to my reviews of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. As I said in a previous video, I am going to be rounding out the last couple weeks of December now that the Oh There's No Place Like Home for the Yu-Gi Days holiday special has been completed with the next 6 Yu-Gi-Oh! Reviews. And as with the coming of Volume 2, we're getting into stories which are multiple parts. Provided that I have counted correctly, we should be able to finish Volume 2 by the end of the week. Today we're going to be talking about Duel Number 7, The Face of Truth, which is the story where Hiroto Honda becomes part of Yugi's inner circle. The plot hinges on Honda, who has a crush on a girl in their class, trying to figure out a way to express himself. Honda is still friends with Jinochi, even though Jinochi is friends with Yugi and Honda isn't. Honda seems convinced that Yugi still has a grudge against them for the way they used to treat him, when really Yugi just doesn't like him much because Honda tends to make Yugi carry his stuff or buy magazines for him. Dirty magazines. Wow, that wind just came out of nowhere. But Jinochi's not any better with women than Honda is, so he decides to ask Yugi. There are a couple scenes that I really love in this particular chapter, and this is one of them. Honda is so sure that Yugi's gonna laugh at him, because he doesn't know what kind of person Yugi is at all. Yugi may not understand why he likes this particular girl. He may not even think that Honda has any chance with this girl. But Yugi's not the kind of person to disrespect someone's feelings by laughing in their face. And in fact, Yugi tries to help him as much as he can by taking Honda back to the game shop to try to find a gift for this girl that might win her affections. This is where they find a blank jigsaw puzzle that you can write a message on and then give it to someone as a gift. The idea is that you write something meaningful with a lot of feeling behind it, and then as they build the puzzle, your feelings become revealed to them. Which, I don't know if this is a real thing, but if it's not, somebody needs to get on that, because that's awesome. But Honda, not being a guy who's known for his words, gets Yugi to do it for him, which of course he does. But you get the sense that he's doing this because he really does feel like Yugi can deliver the message better than he can. Not just because he's lazy or he's being mean. And so Yugi writes a very simple, to-the-point message. And the next day, the three of them show up early to class to hide it in the girl's desk. The girl being Miho Nasaki, who was actually given a larger part in the anime adaptation of these first 7 volumes of the manga. However, their teacher, who is a truly despicable person. Her name is Miss Chono, but I'm going to call her by her work nickname, the Wicked Witch of Expel, the Wicked Witch for short. She's a relatively young, attractive woman who, despite caring a lot about her appearance and projecting a sweet and kind persona, is actually nasty and controlling deep down. She seems to have some real anger problems, and she seems to take a sort of perverse pleasure in catching her students in offenses that she can overblow to the point that they get expelled from class. In fact, they mention in dialogue that she's gotten an absolutely ridiculous 15 students expelled in the last 6 months. I would hope that that's exaggeration, because I don't even know that that's possible. But either way, she's not a good person. She just does a really good job of acting like a good person. So when Miho finds the puzzle in her desk during class, this horrible person bullies and embarrasses her in front of the entire class by taking the puzzle up to the front and assembling it and heckling Miho and heckling the writer as she does so. And it only gets worse once she realizes that it's a love letter because dating isn't allowed between students. And she expects that she'll be able to use this to get the writer expelled. So as she comes close to completing the puzzle, realizes what it is, and asks who it is that wrote it, Yugi stands up, willing to take upon himself all of the ridicule and all of the punishment so that Honda still has a chance with Miho after this is over. This is that other scene I was talking about that I absolutely love in this chapter, because the story in this chapter is pretty mundane, as you'll see at the end of this. But the earlier scene where Honda is exposed to what kind of person Yugi is in a small dose and starts to come to trust him, and this scene where Yugi shows exactly what kind of person he is in this huge way in front of all these people. I mean, hell, I want to be this kid's friend and he's not even real. If the Wicked Witch here is a genuinely bad person who genuinely likes manipulating people and hurting their feelings, Yugi is the exact opposite. These two could almost be nemesis, and it doesn't diminish what Yugi did when Jinochi stands up as well, and then Honda. Jinochi is Honda's friend, and Honda, despite being a little teenage boyish, is a good person and isn't going to let his friends take the blame for something that he did. But Yugi and Honda aren't friends. Yugi doesn't even like Honda that much, and he still did this for him. This is why I love this character so much. He's just so great. So, of course, the Wicked Witch doesn't know which one of them actually did it. She plans on punishing all of them because at least 2 of them lied in her mind, because she doesn't consider that all three of them could have been in some way responsible, which technically they were. So she goes to complete the puzzle and reveal the rest of the message, which has the writer's name on it. But as she does, the other Yugi comes out, because now the Wicked Witch has trespassed on Honda's soul. She has devalued his feelings and trampled all over them. So he turns the puzzle into a shadow game, and as she puts the last few pieces in, her true self is revealed. We saw her show a little bit of her true self earlier when she got all angry and punched out, I think it was a mirror. She got this really dark expression on her face, and what the shadow game does is force that expression back onto her face. And from what the other Yugi says, we can surmise that this is her true face, and that no matter how much she acts like she's a good person now and how much makeup she wears, she'll never be able to get rid of that face unless she genuinely changes. Which is what I'm talking about this being a little mundane in terms of story. There are other stories like this of people who seem nice and kind and capable but are somehow exposed when their real self is brought to the surface. It's all of these supplementary emotional stuff throughout this chapter that really makes this story worthwhile. That and the fact that there's no real confrontation here between the hero and the villain. The other Yugi doesn't even say a single word to Miss Chono. And it is pretty cool that at the end of the day, Miss Chono technically defeated herself. It's not my favorite chapter of the manga, but it's definitely a good one, and seeing as this is the event that brings Honda into Yugi's inner circle, I think it's the perfect chapter to round out the first volume of the manga. But guys, what do you think of this chapter of Yu-Gi-Oh? If you've read it, let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.